Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Hi. Hi. Hi. Hi.
Hi, I'm Daria. I'm not just a student at the City Life Center, I'm also a Lady Titan. Every time someone chooses to become a prayer partner, monthly donor, or ministry volunteer, it reminds me that my future matters and my life is worth investing in.
Hi, I'm Camille Swint, the City Life Center Director at Kalamazoo Youth for Christ, where I know we're the heartbeat of the city. Luke 14:23 states, "And the Lord said unto the servant, Go out into the highways and the hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled." If I could introduce you to one student today, just one, you would understand why this work must continue. Not because of statistics, but because of a name, a face, and a future still being written. Let me tell you about a student. Not their real name, but a very real story. He walks into the City Life Center loud, guarded, and hungry, sometimes for food, but more often for belonging. School has labeled him difficult. Home has taught him to survive and not trust. And church, if he's experienced it at all, felt like a place he didn't quite fit. So underneath his troubled exterior is a young person navigating family instability, academic pressure, and mentally repeating the quiet question that so many students carry is, do I really matter to anyone? But week after week, he keeps showing up. Why? Because here, someone remembers his name. Here, adults are showing up consistently. And here, he's not a project, he's a person. His story isn't finished yet, but it's being rewritten in the presence of love that's unconditional. And the reality is this: too many young people are navigating life without stable adults, spiritual guidance, or a clear understanding of their God-given worth. So when students lack consistent, Christ-centered, real relationships, the consequences are very real. Their isolation turns into identity confusion. Their hurt turns into hardened hearts, and their potential goes undiscovered. And without intentional intervention, the world will gladly disciple them instead. Research consistently shows that young people who have at least one caring, consistent adult in their life are significantly more likely to thrive emotionally, academically, and spiritually. That's why Youth for Christ exists. That's why real relational ministry isn't optional, it's essential. And as I'm called, standing in the middle of these stories, God compelled my heart to act. I didn't step into this role because it was easy. It's not. But I stepped in because I couldn't ignore what God placed right in front of me. When I saw these students longing to be seen and heard, when I watched ministry leaders pour out faithfully, and when I realized how thin the line is between a student who is and who they could become, God made it very, very, very clear. Stand in the gap and be present and build what will last. This isn't just what I do. This is what I've been entrusted with. And I'm truly an advocate for these children. With that being said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Because God has been preparing me long before the title, the office, or the responsibilities. And through leadership, administration, discipleship, and a deep relational work, He's taught me how to actively listen before leading, how to unconditionally love with boundaries and excellence, and how to build a strong foundation with systems that support people and not replace them. Therefore, with every step, that's an opportunity for us to operate an authentic ministry. And every yes, that's another day to be available to answer the call of God to aid His children. In every stretch, we get an opportunity to help children who are either looking for a safe community of peers or to be in a safer and or healthier environment outside of the home. In every season, we get an opportunity to see these children transform, either by saying they want to be a better version of themselves or changing the trajectory of their lives and saying yes to an eternal life with Jesus Christ. And all of these have led to this moment, these opportunities, which are a blessing, to lead the City Life Center not as a program, but as a place of belonging, discipleship, and holistic transformation. So the question now is, how are we solving the problem? Our plan is clear and intentional. First, we start with relational ministry. Every student is known by name and has a story. Next is leadership development, training ministry leaders and students to live on mission intentionally. Also, we have a consistent presence by showing up weekly, faithfully, relationally. And lastly, spiritual pathways, inviting these students to go into God's story at their pace, when they're comfortable and when they're ready. We're not chasing numbers. We are cultivating lives, and it's working because transformation happens in real relationship building. So remember that student I mentioned earlier? He's still showing up. He's still learning, he's still opening up, and he's still discovering that his life has meaning. And he's embracing his story, knowing that it isn't finished yet. We had 604 students that came through those doors last year. We need more people to advocate for them. And by doing so, we're helping them to walk in who God has called them to be, not only for them, but also for their families and ultimately transforming their lives and their communities. So by now, you can tell that my heartstrings are pulled by the love I have for these children, whom I affectionately call my babies. They need to see Christ move in a mighty way. Need to see Christ move in a mighty way. Therefore, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share a glimpse of what God is doing right here at Kalamazoo Youth for Christ and Youth for Christ. Their stories aren't finished. They're still asking questions as they navigate through life, as they're still struggling at home, at school, or even on the bus, and looking for an escape when they don't feel loved, heard, or waiting to be seen. And God is still shaping their futures. Together, we get to be a part of what happens next. So thank you for taking the time to hear the heart behind what God is doing through the students here at the City Life Center. I truly believe that when people partner together, lives are changed and young people begin to see just how much they are unconditionally loved. Partnership looks different for everyone, but everyone has a place to help advocate for these children. So, what does advocacy look like for you? How is God calling you to be an advocate today? Is it through prayer? Is it through giving? Or is it through volunteering? We're in need of partnership. This partnership is truly a call to action. So first, please pray. Pray for our students by name. Pray for softened hearts and courageous faith. Lastly, pray for our ministry leaders as they pour out daily and selfishly. Prayer fuels everything we do. Second, will you give? Your generosity creates space for safe environments, consistent leaders, life-changing conversations, and moments where students can safely encounter Jesus Christ without feeling judged or uncomfortable. And just know, if you feel led to give, you are not giving to fund a program. You're investing in their eternity. Lastly, lead by going. Go by sharing the story. Go by encouraging others to step in. And go by saying yes when God prompts your heart. So what will happen next is up to you. Your decision should be on how God would like for you to move forward. So what happens next is up to you. But now is a call to action. I know I can't be there in the room with you today to hand you a partner card, but the need for our community is still present. And if you felt a tug on your heart during this presentation, I'm asking you, don't wait until tomorrow. So please scan the QR code on the screen right now. It takes less than 2 minutes to set up a recurring gift, but that one act ensures that our students have a consistent advocate every single month. So let's make this happen together. But before we move forward with this amazing opportunity, I would like for you to meet the young man who's a remarkable blessing to us here at City Life. Enjoy. Hi.
Hi, I'm Jamar. I am one of 604 students that have walked through the door at Kalamazoo Youth for Christ. But before I was a leader, I was a student standing on a gymnasium floor that was brand new, and I actually shot the first shot, which was an air ball. Hi. And I'm also the young man that Miss Camille mentioned earlier. And I stand before you as a living, breathing success story of what happens when a community comes together and advocates for its youth. I spend my days pouring into these amazing youth as a big brother, discipling them, leading them in worship, and most importantly, showing them that God has a plan for their lives. Youth for Christ gave me the foundation to take every test that life throws at me and turn that test into a testimony. But I didn't get here alone. I got here because of leaders like Miss Camille, our spiritual mom, who decides to step in the gaps every day to make sure that we are seen, heard, and unconditionally loved. And now I'm asking you to stand in the gap with her. Your monthly partnership is the heartbeat of the city. It is the fuel that keeps the legacy going for the next 600 students that are waiting for their turn. When you click that link to sign up to give monthly, you aren't just making a donation. You are becoming a co-author for the next success story in Kalamazoo this year. On behalf of every student that walked in those doors, feeling invisible and left out feeling like a leader, we want to thank you. On behalf of you for your time, your prayers, and not just helping us change lives, but changing homes and entire communities. At Kalamazoo Youth for Christ, we're ready to keep moving. Will you join us?